This is the branded Despia combo tutorial number 1, how to end on double Masquerade end boards. I'm going to show 3 combos in this video. One will be the very basic branded fusion plus any light or dark. This doesn't have to be Druid Worm, it can be any light or dark. The next will be branded High Spirits plus Saronir. And the last one will be branded High Spirits, branded fusion plus a discard. I want to focus on 2 combos using branded and High Spirits to showcase how it's used in this deck, because I know a lot of people are uncertain or haven't experienced it being a new card. And then at the end of the video, I'll show an updated deck profile of what I'm playing right now, so you can play the deck if you want to. With that being said, we'll do the first combo here. All these combos will end on branded double Masquerade in some capacity, so we'll activate branded fusion and we'll send Fallen of Albaz and Tragedy. We need to send Tragedy. As a general rule of thumb, you'll always want to send Tragedy off branded fusion if you don't have access to Albion. So we'll use Albion or Lubellion effect chain 1, discarding our lighter dark monster, Tragedy chain link 2. Tragedy will add Albion, and Lubellion will fuse using itself and Albaz into Albion. We need to do this sequence because we need to get Albion in the graveyard, essentially is what's happening right here. Albion effect, banish Tragedy, and the lighter dark monster we discarded, summon Masquerade. Next, we'll normal summon Albion, use the effect. We'll add Despia Theater of the Branded to our hand. Next, we'll activate Theater, and then use Theater's effect to fusion, using Albion and Albion. And we'll summon the second Masquerade. In the end phase of the turn, we'll use Albion's effect to set a branded banishment from our deck. So very basic 2-card combo. Your end board looks like 2 Masquerades, branded banishment, theater, and because it was a 2-card combo, we start with 5 cards. We'll have 3 random cards in hand. Basically double Masquerade strong game 1s because it's good against a variety of matchups. So whereas Mirror Jade based end boards will lose out to decks like Flunder typically, double Masquerade beats Tier Limit because they have to use 1 effect to send the tier to grave and the second effect the actual tier fusion effect. And at that point they're usually making something like Kit Kalos, which will then use its effect, and they still haven't outed these. So your opponent has to trigger multiple effects. Sprite, same deal. They need to trigger multiple effects to break the board, paying lots of life points, and then any disruption on top of double Masquerade is usually game over for your opponent because they only have like so many effects they can activate, basically, which is what makes banishment so strong here, because when they threaten the out, like Kit Kalos or something, you can banishment summon and then, you know, fuse with their guy. Other thing is, I like going on double Masquerade game 1s, not only because it's good against every deck, but that it's also, the opponent doesn't have their blowout cards like Dark Ruler or Evenly Matched or Lightning Storm, these type of cards that normally just break the lock. They don't have these game 1s, which makes this very strong. But that's a basic double Masquerade combo using branded fusion plus any light or dark. So I just wanted to show that real quick so everyone kind of knows like the very basic combo. Next, I want to do a combo showing High Spirits. The new card. I think this card's integral to the deck. It's very nice. I want to show you how you can end on double Masquerade without opening branded fusion and without opening any Despia monster. So we'll start by activating branded High Spirits, revealing Saronir. And we'll send Titanic Clad. Discard the Saronir. Add Albion Shrouded Dragon to our hand. Because Saronir was sent to the graveyard, we'll use its effect to send a branded spell or trap from our deck to the grave. In this case, we'll send Retribution. Next, we'll activate Albion Shrouded effect. And we will send where is it? Branded Fusion. Yeah, here it is. We'll send Branded Fusion. Albion will return itself to the bottom of the deck. We'll draw one random card. Next, we'll use Retribution's effect, banishing itself from the graveyard to add back Branded Fusion. Then we'll activate Branded Fusion, sending Albaz and Tragedy. So once again, we're going to be sending Tragedy off Branded Fusion. That's because we didn't open with Aluber. If we opened with Aluber, in most instances, we would be sending Lubellion, the Bystial Lubellion. So we'll summon normal Lubellion, and then on the summon we'll use Lubellion effect chain 1, Tragedy chain 2, discard whatever we drew off Albion for Lubellion, and Tragedy will search out Aluber. Lubellion's effect resolves, and we'll fusion summon with it and Albaz to make Albion. Next, we'll activate Albion's effect, banishing Tragedy and Saronir from our graveyard to summon Masquerade. Now we'll normal summon Aluber and use the effect to search for Despia Theater the Branded. Next, we'll activate Theater and use the effect to fusion summon using Albion and Aluber. For the second Masquerade. End phase of the turn, we'll activate Albion's effect. And we'll set Branded Banishment. So, similar end board to the first combo. This is what your end board will look like. Well, and then we'll also resolve Titanic Clad to summon Albaz. Okay. From Titanic Clad's effect in the end phase. So this is what your end board will look like. It was a 2-card combo. You start with 5 cards in hand, so we'll have 3 random cards in hand. And then we'll have double Masquerade, so I already explained why this is powerful game 1's. Branded Banishment, and it's important to summon the Albaz off of Titanic Clad, because in this instance, Branded Banishment will, when your opponent normal summons a Letter Dark monster, so think like summon Sprite Blue or summon Kalos, cards like these, you activate Branded Banishment, summoning Aluber from the graveyard, and then you'll fuse with Albaz and their monster, which is important because Branded Banishment only fuses from the field. So for Lubellion, because in most instances you'll be fusing with a dark monster. So Lubellion is what you'll summon, like in this meta, like tier and Sprite meta, this is what's happening. And then you'll use Lubellion effect chain 1, Aluber effect chain 2, discarding just one of your cards in hand for Lubellion. Aluber will search out any branded card in your deck. I'm just gonna do branded in red. And Lubellion's effect will resolve. You'll shuffle back Albaz and Titanic Clad. For Mirror Jade. So we already had one non-targeting banish of their normal summon or whatnot from banishment, and now we have a second with Mirror Jade. So now we can use Mirror Jade's effect, sending Alba Lenitus from our deck to the grave. And this is a very powerful setup for a few reasons. One, we have Theater plus an Aluber on field, so if they break the Aluber, we can revive an Albion from our grave from Theater effect. 2, if they clear the field, so even if they clear this entire field, which keep in mind, they're playing through double Masquerade, plus Banishment Banish, plus Mirror Jade Banish, which is insane, plus like whatever other hand traps you have. But even if they clear this field, so keep in mind like 2,500 attack, 2,500 attack, 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense. Like this is pretty difficult. Even if they do that, you get Mirror Jade's effect to destroy all their monsters in the end phase. You get Alba Lenitus effect to search your deck for a branded fusion. You get, because a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, Branded and High Spirits will add itself back to your hand. And then on your next turn, you'll get a random draw. So you'll have 6 cards in hand for your next turn, including Branded Fusion, Guaranteed Search, Branded in Red, Guaranteed Search with a target. And then you'll have High Spirits. You can use this discard fodder, or you can just keep it and use it for the effects. But you also have double Masquerades in your graveyard that can summon themselves out. If your opponent has like a fusion or something on the field. But yeah, so that's that combo. High Spirits Bystial Saronir, pretty strong combo. I think it showcases why I like the High Spirits in the deck, because it gives value to the Bystials. Being able to play maximum Bystials in combo with them on turn 1, I think is integral. It's very strong interactions because they act as hand traps and combo pieces. Okay, so the last combo I wanted to showcase was Branded and High Spirits plus Branded Fusion plus any light or dark discard. So in this case, I'm just going to use Drew Worm. This can be any light or dark monster you play though. It can be like Effect Veiler, it can be, yeah, any light or dark monster. Something to note though, if this was like Lubellion or Saronir or Albaz, you know, cards like these, then the combo would differ, like, you know, combo pieces. But if this is just a hand trap like Drew Worm or like Effect Veiler, this is how you go. So you'll start off by activating Branded Fusion. And we'll send Albaz, Tragedy, and we'll summon Lubellion. So now we'll use Lubellion effect chain 1, discarding your light or dark monster, Tragedy effect chain 2, adding Alliware to our hand. Lubellion will fuse with your light or dark monster and Tragedy for the first Masquerade. Next, we'll normal summon Alliware, use the effect. And now we'll search for Branded in Red. We'll activate Branded in Red, adding Fallen of Albaz from our graveyard to our hand. And then we'll banish Lubellion and Alliware for the second Masquerade. Now we'll activate Branded High Spirits, discarding Albaz, and sending a Albion from our extra deck to the graveyard to add Albion the Shrouded Dragon from our deck to our hand. Next, we will activate Albion the Shrouded Dragon's effect. Sending Retribution, putting itself to the bottom of the deck, and we'll draw 1 card. Now we'll use Retribution's effect, banish itself, to add back the Branded in Red. Next, we'll set the Branded in Red and go to the end phase of the turn. We'll activate Albion the Shrouded. And this can summon, realistically, this can set anything. So I like to set Branded, Branded Banishment here. Or you can set Branded Opening, or you can do Branded Banishment. So Banishment is The problem with banishment is this wasn't properly summoned, so you can't summon it back out. But with opening in your opponent's turn, you can go branded opening, discard whatever you drew off of. Well, I guess I should go over the end board first. Basically, you end on double Masquerade, opening, branded in red, one random draw, and then because this was, what, 3-card combo, we'll have 2 other cards in hand. Yeah, you can also end on branded banishment here, but it's not that useful. But basically, the opponent's turn, you know, you can do branded opening, discard whatever you drew, or whatever you drew from Albion. Summon out. Thinking here. I think you'll want to summon out, I'll summon Tragedy. I mean, either works, really, to be honest. But we'll summon Tragedy, and then we'll activate branded in red, add back the Albaz. Albaz plus Tragedy. For Lubellion. Lubellion 1, Tragedy 2. Tragedy will search out wherever the Tragedy will search out Aluber. Lubellion will fusion summon using the banished Lubellion and Albaz. To summon Mirror Jade. So there you go, you have double Masquerade with Mirror Jade on board, 3 cards in hand. Yeah, that's a combo. So this is how you end on Masquerade base end boards. How long is this video? 17 minutes. Okay, there's another combo that's Aluber plus branded in the High Spirits. Plus a discard. I kind of just don't want to make a 30-minute combo video, so I might save it for another video. Basically, I'll make a second video. And the second combo video, I'll show how you can use the Raw Disciple lock to play around Bystials like 100% of the time. How to beat, which will be useful for games 2 and 3, but games 1, I feel that the Masquerade lock is the strongest. That's why I showed like these combos, how to make the Masquerade lock. You know what, maybe I can show the Aluber plus High Spirits combo. Yeah, let's try it. Aluber, High Spirits, and then I'll do a quick deck profile after this and just show updated decks so you can give it a go. The deck's honestly pretty nice. You can literally net deck this card for card and do perfectly fine at whatever tournament you enter. Like, honestly, you can win your locals probably every week playing this deck. But yeah, with this type of hand, so this can be like anything really, just a discard card. But Aluber, High Spirits plus a discard. You know what? I'll use Imperm as like a just generic discard. So Aluber, High Spirits plus a discard. I don't want to summon Aluber effects. Add Branded Fusion to your hand. Next, we'll activate Branded Fusion. And because we started with Aluber in this combo, we'll send Albaz. And we will send Mercurier to summon Lubellion. Next, we'll use Lubellion's effect, discarding the random card. We'll fuse with itself and Albaz to make Albion. This sequence is necessary because we need to banish Mercurier, and we need to banish Mercurier because we need dragon type monster to discard for this. So we'll use Albion's effect, banishing Mercurier and Aluber to summon Despia and Portis. Mercurius effect will trigger. We have to summon Cortus here because we need something with the Despia in its name to fusion summon with. I'll explain later. This combo works significantly better if you play Branded Sword in your deck. I don't play Branded Sword, so because it's like a really bad card to draw. And Retribution's more useful games 2 or 3 when you have Expulsion combo, because it lets you reapply the Expulsion after you break the lock turn 3. So I'll explain that in my Raw Disciple lock video. But activate Branded High Spirits, reveal Albion. And off of this, we'll want to send Titanic Lad. Discard the Albion. And we'll search Blazing Cartesia. Next, we'll use Blazing Cartesia's effect to summon herself. This is possible because Albion is treated as Fallen of Albaz while it's in the graveyard. And next, we'll use Cartesia's effect to fuse Albion and Cortus. We need to do this to get Albion in the graveyard to summon Masquerade. So that's why we needed to make the Cortus. Next, we'll use Albion Shrouded's effect, sending Retribution. And this is where if you play Branded Sword, you can send Sword instead and get Mercurier. But if you're playing Sword, you should do that instead and make a Dragos Sepilia with Albion and Mercurier by sending this before using Cartesia effect, but neither here nor there. Yeah. And then you'll go to end phase, Titanic Lad effects. Summon your Albaz. And then Albion effects. Set the banishment. So, during your opponent's turn, so this is what you end on. So Aluber, Branded Fusion plus a discard. You have Masquerade, Banishment, Cartesia, Albaz. And then, I mean, you can go Retribution, Banish itself, add back, Branded Fusion. So, this board's trying to accomplish a double Masquerade lock. It's different than the Branded Fusion combo I showed before, because with Branded Fusion you can send the Tragedy and get value by normal summoning the Aluber. In this instance, this is a lot stronger of a board than it looks like, basically. So during your opponent's turn, you have Cartesia's quick effect to fusion summon, which is why it's important to leave it on board. So you'll use its effect to fusion with Fallen of Albaz to summon Albion the Branded Dragon. You can also add Fallen of Albaz to your hand instead of summoning it, but I like to summon it because then you have the option to banishment summon and then fuse with their monster using Albaz. But so you'll summon Albion, use Albion's effect, banishing Albaz and Titanic Lad to summon Lubellion. Now we'll use Lubellion's effect, discarding the card you added back from Retribution to shuffle back Fallen of Albaz and Titanic Lad. Summon Mirror Jade. So now this is what your board looks like. Masquerade, Mirror Jade, Lubellion, Albion. And then when your opponent normal summons or summons a light or dark monster, you use Banishment to special summon back out Cortus. And then you banish Cortus and their monster, or you can do Cortus and Lubellion. So for the sake of the video, I'll just do Cortus Lubellion to summon out the second Masquerade. So there you have it. Aluber end on double Masquerade. Granted, your opponent gets one effect activation in their main phase before you can use Cartesia, but it's really not that big of a deal because you have double Masquerade plus Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade is important because, you know, obviously you can send Avalenitus to banish, and then even if they clear this board, you know, they out your lock, in the end phase of the turn, you will get Mirror Jade's effect to destroy their field, Albion's effect to add Branded in red from your deck to your hand because it was sent to grave. You'll get Avalenitus because it was sent off Mirror Jade to add Branded Fusion from your deck to your hand. And then because a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, Cartesia will add herself back. And then because a fusion monster was sent to your graveyard this turn, Branded and High Spirits will add itself back. So even if they clear your board, you'll get these 4 cards in your hand at the end phase of the turn. You'll have two Masquerades that can summon themselves out if your opponent has extra deck monster on their field. And then because it was a 3-card combo and we started with, it was a 3-card combo and you start with 5 cards, we'll have 2 random cards in our hand. And then your next turn, you'll draw for turn. So turn 3 of the duel, draw for turn. You have literally 7 cards in your hand to full combo your opponent with. And that's assuming they can break double Masquerade plus Mirror Jade plus Albion. They essentially have to OTK you through this board or they lose the game, is how the combo works. So that being said, these are just some examples of double Masquerade combos. I feel double Masquerade is really strong game 1 because it's good against almost every matchup, whereas Mirror Jade based end boards aren't as strong against every matchup. And games 2 and 3, I would prioritize either Disciple Lock or Zombie World Lock, depending on the matchup, instead of double Masquerade, just because your opponent will side in evenly matched Lightning Storms, Dark Rulers, these type of cards that the Masquerade Lock loses to. But no one's main decking those cards right now, which makes Masquerade very strong game 1 if you can summon 2 of them. So with that being said, I'll do a quick deck profile. So if you're interested in playing this deck, you can just copy the deck. And honestly, if you take this deck like card for card to local tournaments or even regionals, you can, I guarantee you can top with it if you play well. So there's that. I played in 3 local tournaments recently, and one was a winner box where I got I split the finals of the winner box. So I went undefeated, and then in the last round I just split with the other guy. And then second one was just a normal local tournament, which I went undefeated in playing this deck. And then the third one was another winner box, and then I split the finals of that too with this deck. So yeah. One second, I'm just organizing this so it makes sense. These cards, this one, this one, this one. My next video, I'll make a Raw's Disciple Lock. So like games 2 and 3, when you're going first, you'll side in the Disciple Lock, and I'll show you how you can accomplish that without through opponent's bestial monsters or hand traps. So you can play through 1 hand trap, sometimes 2, depending on your hand, so it's very strong because Lightning Storm, evenly matched, Dark Ruler, these types of cards that the opponent will side in that are traditionally strong against branded, like the double Masquerade end boards. Game 1, your opponent thinks, oh, they're gonna go first, they're gonna make this. Yeah, all those cards are worthless against it, the Disciple Lock. So yeah, and that's why I like it games 2 and 3. Okay, so we got this put together finally. Took way too long. All right, boom, we got the deck. So branded Despia deck. I won 3 locals in a row with this. 3 Alibur, 1 Tragedy. You can play more if you want. I just only play 1 because it doesn't do anything on its own. 1 Adlib. I play this just to recycle Tragedy because I'm not playing Branded Regained, and I'm not playing second Tragedy. So I use this to recycle Tragedy, which can then recycle Banishment or Branded in red. Dramaturge is just better if you're playing multiple Tragedies or if you're playing Dimension Shifter. Albaz Engine, 2 Albaz, 1 Albion, 1 Mercurier. This is In Lubellion-based combos, you search Lost, and then when you fuse on the opponent's turn, you use Lost to search Mercury as an additional interruption. And then Cartesia, accomplish second fusion summon in Lubellion-based combos. Next, we have Bystial Lubellion. This is a light target off branded fusion. Triple Saronir, card's crazy. Triple Drew Worm, card's okay. Triple Magnamute, card's crazy. Triple Imperm, it just doesn't lose the talents. Imperm, Veiler, Ghostmourner, these types of effect negation hand traps, really strong right now. But 3, 6, 9, 12, so 12 hand traps. And then spell cards, 3 branded fusion, 3 branded opening, 3 high spirits. If your locals doesn't play a lot of Bystials, you probably don't need to play 3 of this. But if you're maxing on the Bystials in this deck, and your local metal game, they play a lot of Bystials, this card's necessary. I'll explain more in the other video, but 1 branded in red, 1 theater for the combos you saw today. This is necessary for double Masquerade combos. 1 lost, this is the only Lubellion target. And then I play Foolish Burial and Gold Sarcophagus. These are essentially reinforcements of the army for Aluber, more or less. And then Triple Tactics, this is literally the 40th card. I play more of this if I had space, but it's just, yeah, it's just the 40th card. And then Banishment for the end boards, and Retribution for the combos. Retribution's also nice. Games 2 or 3 for resetting Expulsion and Expulsion combos. Extra deck. I play 2 Masquerades. Shout out to Brandon for giving me the Ultras. 1 Cortus, card's exceptionally good. Big fan. 1, 2, 3 Albions. I think 3 is necessary, at least the way I play the deck. 2 Lubellions. 2 Lubellions is for sure necessary because I'm going to use 1 on the opponent's turn, and which doesn't put itself back, leaving on the field, so I need the second Lubellion to recycle it back. And then I also play 2 Mirror Jades. 1's probably not entirely necessary. 1's like a flex spot, but it comes up. 1 Alba Lenitus, send off Mirror Jade opponent's turn, search Branded Fusion as follow-up, also good against Bystials. 1 Titanic Cloud, this is your High Spirits target to get to Albaz in the end phase, which you saw in the combos. 1 Guardian Chimera, 1 Dragon Superior for Flunder, and Branded Banishment, 1 Mysterion to fuse with Cartesia plus Bystials. Yeah. Game 1's Masquerades key. Side deck. Obviously, you can side whatever. This is just what I'm playing. I'm playing the Ultimate Slayer package because this is a 1 card board breaker that stops that breaks the sprite board by sending this. And then it's also inherently good in this deck because you don't have side on the fusion. So against Tearlament, you can use Ultimate Slayer, sending Titanic Clad. And then in the end phase, you can use Titanic Clad's effect, summon Albaz summon Mirror Jade, you know, like continue to break their board that way after they waste their negates on your like Aluber or whatever. 2 Twin Twisters, Feather Duster, these can be like any back row removal cards. You just need something to kill like Floodgates. Duster, great. Evenly matched, this card's crazy. Disciple Expulsion for when you know you're going first against almost every deck. You need to play Disciple, not Ido right now, because every deck's playing Bystials and Raw's Disciple can't be tributed, whereas Bystials can. And then you have Banshee plus Zombie World for Flunderies. The Flunderies is a terrible matchup for this deck, so you gotta side in this. And then Token. So yeah, that's the deck. Sorry for making a long video, but hope you learned something about the Masquerade combos.